I'm Cody, the news anchor of the Business Time, and I'm here back to talk to you about a recent new economic problem, which is the government intervention in cigarettes in Malaysia. Approximately 4.5 million Malaysian adults, constituting of 21% of the population, were active smokers, according to a study done by Yusof. Responding to this pressing issue, the Malaysian government has launched various initiatives to curb tobacco use and prioritize public health. These efforts involve implementing laws and taxes to diminish smoking prevalence nationwide. The figure on screen shows the initial supply-demand graph before the government intervention. And moving on to the next figure here, you can see a new price floor being introduced. When a tax is implemented, it will set a minimum price that must be charged for cigarettes. This would result in a higher price than the equilibrium price in the market. As a result, consumer surplus would decrease and producer surplus would increase. However, while these measures have led to a decline in cigarette consumption, they've also inadvertently spurred a rise in demand for illicit cigarettes fueled by the increased prices of legal ones. This shift has prompted consumers to explore substitutes like vapes and other tobacco or nicotine products. Now, let's move on to some reasons for the government intervention. Government intervention in Malaysia on cigarettes is driven by concerns for public health, primarily due to smoking's contribution to chronic non-communicable diseases and premature mortality. The objective is to decrease smoking prevalence and safeguard citizens' well-being through taxation, smoking cessation initiatives, and advertising restrictions. Additionally, considering the economic impact, Malaysia relies on tobacco duties for significant revenue. Introducing sin taxes on cigarettes may discourage consumption while maintaining income. The Malaysian government has reportedly collected around approximately 3.28 billion Malaysian ringgit in the year 2012. Here's on screen shows a graph collected revenue from the sin tax of Malaysia. As you can see, the tax revenue that has been collected is increasing each year, which funds from these taxes could support public health programs aimed at reducing smoking rates. Furthermore, Malaysia is prioritizing youth protection by regulating tobacco sales, prohibiting vending machine and online sales, and implementing educational initiatives in schools to prevent smoking initiation. Now let's move on to the next topic, impacts of the intervention towards firms and consumers. In Malaysia, the cigarette industry grapples with government intervention like high taxation and price controls aimed at curbing consumptions of demerit goods. Despite the ease and low costs of production, large companies like Philip Morris face changes due to these regulations driving up consumer prices. Yet, the addictive nature of tobacco fuels demand, leading to a thriving illicit market. However, the landscape is shifting as substitutes like vape gain popularity, offering a cheaper alternative amid declining cigarette sales. These dynamics reflect the impact of government policies on both industries and consumer behavior, shaping the future of tobacco consumption in Malaysia. Here on screen is a graph that exhibits the effects of taxation on demand and supply, as shown, and causes a shift to the left of the supply graph. Moving on, here is another graph that shows the increase of illicit cigarettes circulated around Malaysia since 2011.
Today we're talking about the cigarettes crisis in Malaysia. As you see, I don't smoke. But today, I have a smoker with me to tell me their honest opinion. What's your name?
Samantha.
So, I'm talking about the cigarette crisis in Malaysia and the government intervention. So the first question is, How has the cigarette prices due to the government intervention impacted your smoking habits and perception?
Cigarette prices have kind of like increased, so because of that, I can't really buy cigarettes that much. I have to find like I have to look around in different stores to find the cheapest price, so it's not very accessible and it's kind of hard to find cheaper prices.
But you'd still smoke.
Yes.
Your habits don't change at all.
My habits do change because the prices are so high. Sometimes I just can't really afford it, so it's kind of I have to prioritize other things than buying cigarettes, and so it does kind of change my habits because of the increase in price because of taxation and all that. It makes me buy it a lot less than usual.
Okay, next question. What are your thoughts on the effectiveness of government initiatives like graphic health warnings and restrictions on tobacco advertising in deterring smoking?
The government intervention, I feel like the taxation decreases the amount of times that I buy cigarettes, but I think all the health warnings, like on TV and all that, talking about how smoking is bad, and the pictures on the cigarette packet, it doesn't really deter you that much because you just don't really think about it. I think the main thing that makes you stop is just the higher prices. That's it.
Only that?
Yeah.
What about your health?
It's fine.
You have a point of no return?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. How do you perceive the quality of illicit cigarettes compared to legally sold ones?
I don't. I feel like when you buy kind of illegal cigarettes that aren't really taxed, you are kind of scared of what they're gonna put in there. But and then you do trust the taxed cigarettes better because you know that it has government regulations and all that. But at the end of the day, it's kind of just like I don't smoke cigarettes for health. So
No, but the streets say that the illegal ones are the best. The streets? That's what the streets say.
I don't think they're the best. They are a little bit dangerous because you don't really know where they're coming from and they're not sanctioned. So it is a little bit worrying.
So you think you're safe and the other youth are safe? Yeah, from the smoking habits around.
No, you're obviously not safe, but I do think it's better to buy government sanctioned ones rather than the legal ones because at least you know where they're coming from.
We have one more person to interview. Hello, what's your name?
Hi, I am TJ.
How often do you smoke?
A few times a week.
Why can't you be like me? I don't smoke.
I've developed a habit, but sadly it's not a good one.
Point of no return.
No, there's definitely return, but for some reason I still choose to smoke.
Okay, but today I want to talk about the government intervention on cigarettes.
Okay?
Yeah? So your first question is, have you noticed any changes in your spending habits or budget allocation due to the increased prices of cigarettes?
For me, no, because I don't buy cigarettes by the pack. I buy by stick, and the price of the stick has been the same how long I've been buying. Yeah.
Doesn't that take a lot of your time going and buying one stick all the time?
It does, but I usually do it only when I'm free. Also, because the prices increase, I think I would rather not spend my money on like regular cigarettes, and I would rather buy illicit ones because those are a lot cheaper and they taste better.
Okay, so on the same note, have you personally experienced challenges accessing cigarettes due to regulations like age restrictions or limitations on tobacco where products can be sold?
No, because I am already 18 years old.
So what would you say about a person below 18 trying to access this?
They shouldn't.
Have you?
No, I have not. I only started smoking after I turned 18.
Encourage someone to put on something like mine that they don't smoke.
Yes, they should.
So should a smoker put on something like I do smoke?
No, they should not. Because then you're gonna encourage more people to smoke. Let's say someone who a lot of people look up to or think is cool wear something that says I smoke, then they're encouraging a lot of people to develop a habit that's not very
You
good.
said you reached a point of no return. So
I didn't. I didn't say that.
Do you think would you be so why don't you embrace yourself as a smoker and put on something like this?
Because I don't want other people to take after my habits. Because it's not a really good one.
Okay, that's it. Back to you.
Now, I'll be talking about the impacts of the intervention towards firms and consumers. Cigarettes price changes can significantly impact market prices of other products. According to research done by Mishra et al. In 2012, higher cigarette prices often lead to decreased consumption, causing consumers to spend more on other goods. For example, the demand for lighters being a complementary good of cigarettes may decrease when the demand for cigarettes also decreases. The graph on the screen illustrates the examples of quantity demand for cigarettes before and after the government intervention. As you can see, the quantity demand for cigarettes has decreased after the intervention and the demand curve shift to the left. As for lighters, which are complementary good, the demand curve switches to the left too because the lighters are complementary goods of cigarettes. However, rising illicit cigarettes use due to high taxes has fueled a black market, which up to 63% of cigarettes being illicit. A substitute good is a product that can be used as a replacement for another product because it serves the same purpose. The graph on the screen shows an example of the relationship between the price of cigarettes and the effects of government intervention on cigarettes and illicit cigarettes being a substitute good for cigarettes. As the price of cigarettes increases due to tax, the quantity demand for illicit cigarettes also increases due to more smokers finding a substitute for legal cigarettes. This causes the demand curve of illicit cigarettes to shift to the right, as illustrated in the graph on the screen. Efforts to combat this include the minimum price level for cigarettes, aim at discouraging consumption and reducing illicit trade. Yet, challenges remain as its implementation has not substantially altered cigarette prices in Malaysia. These findings underscore the interconnectedness of cigarettes pricing with broader market dynamics in Malaysia.